Hi guys, so here we're forming and solving equations. So first of all anyway, this is something that you should be looking at after you've done solving equations already. So things like this, so if I had 2x minus 1 equals 9 for example, you should hopefully be able to understand how to do this. So if you're not sure how to solve these types of equations, then have a look back first, because this video is really focusing on how to form an equation from worded questions. So if you can see the two examples here that we're going to be looking at in a minute. So if I had 2x minus 1 equals 9, then what you have to do is, so it depends which way you've learned it, but one way is if you're kind of adding 1 to both sides. The other way that your teacher might have taught you is to you're kind of moving over the minus 1. So you're moving over the minus 1 to the other side, and when it moves over, it becomes a plus 1. But whatever way you look at it, whichever way you have learned it anyway, you should get 2x equals 10 here, and then you're dividing by 2 on both sides, or else you're moving over this 2, and when you move it over, then because it's being multiplied by the x there, it gets divided on the other side. So final answer to that one would be x equals 5. So what we're looking at here in this video is how to form an equation like this. So how to, from a worded question or from a problem that's given to you, how do you put it into an equation like that? And then once you've got that, hopefully then you'll be able to solve it. So there's a few notes here anyway. If you look on the left hand side there, so when you see a number, alright, so and in the questions in a minute you'll see a number in certain places, or a certain number, or a given number, or things like that. So when you see that, you call it x. So you let a number be x basically. So it should make more sense in a minute. Then remember, times or multiply means that we write the number beside x. So that's something you should have seen before. So if we had, say, 5 times a certain number, or 5 times a number, we can call that 5x. Or if it was 3 times a number, or 3 multiplied by a number, we can call that 3x. So that's these are a couple of the basics of how we're kind of going to start thinking about trying to put these problems into an equation. The last one, when one number is a certain amount bigger than another number, always call one of the numbers x and the other number x plus whatever it is bigger by. So I know that sounds a little bit complicated. What we're saying is, if you see a question where it has one number is 3 bigger than another number, well, I can call one number x, and I could call the other number x plus 3. So they'd be my two numbers. That's what you'd start off with. So if one number is 3 bigger than another number. Or if you see in a question one number is 7 bigger than another number, well, you can call the first number x, and you call the second number x plus 7. So then that would be a number, and that would be the number that's 7 bigger than it. So let's have a look at some questions anyway and try and put some of this stuff into practice. So the first one up here is when 3 is taken from 5 times a certain number. So let's have a think about it again. Remember, we said over on the left hand side that when we see a number or a certain number like that there, we're going to call that x. So let's look at what's kind of happening to that x then, to the certain number in question. So when 3 is taken away, or taken from 5 times a certain number. So remember, we said 5 times a certain number would be 5 times x. So we're going to have a 5x in this equation anyway. And then when 3 is taken away from it, or taken from it, so 3 is taken away from 5 times the number. So therefore we're going to have a minus 3 there. The result is the same as adding 6 to twice the number. So twice the number, remember the number again is x. So twice the number would be 2x, and it's same as adding 6 to twice the number. So adding 6 then, so would be like that. So now when 3 is taken away from 5 times a certain number, the result is the same as, and that's where we get our equals then. So the same as, or would be equals. 2x plus 6. So really that's our equation then. 5x minus 3 equals 2x plus 6. If we're solving it then, I'll just go through it quickly because hopefully you'll understand how that we need to get the x's on one side and numbers on the other. So if I subtract 2x there, we get 5, so we're going to get 3x equal, 3x minus 3 equals 6, and then I'm going to add 3 to the right hand side. So we get 3x equals 9, and then we divide by 3. So x equals 3 in the end. So x equals 3 is my final answer there then. So the equation that I formed anyway, and that's the new bit that we have to try and get into your head. The equation that I formed was this, was the 5x minus 3 equals 2x plus 6. Let's look at example 2. Michael is x years old. Jenny is twice as old as Michael. So we know that Michael is x, and then Jenny is, so Michael anyway is x years old. Jenny then, so if you have to try and think of an expression then for what Jenny is if Michael is x. So twice as old. Okay, so twice as old as Michael, and we know that Michael is x years old. So twice x then would be 2x. So 2 times x. So that's what you have to be able to identify here. So remember, twice something is the same as times it or multiplying it. So the sum of their ages then is 57. So what they're telling us really is that the x and the 2x added together would be 57. And that's our equation this time. X plus 2x equals 57. So that's the equation, that's the part A here done, that's the equation formed. When we've got that then, what you can do is you can add the x and the 2x together, because remember they're like terms, so then we get 3x equals 57. And then this is a simple enough equation to solve then. All we have to do is divide by 3, or move over the 3 and divide, whatever way you want to say it. So x equals 57 divided by 3 is 19. So Michael is 19 then, because we know that x is 19. So then Jenny would be 2 times 19. So Michael is 19. Jenny then is 2 times 19. So that would be 38. Right, so here's 2 more questions. If you want to just have a look at them, have a think about them, and try and form your own equation. So remember, at the end of the day, your equations should all have x's in them, and they should have equal signs in them, and they should have numbers in them. So just try and have a think about it. Try and come up with your own equation. If it's wrong, then don't worry, you can look at it and try and correct it. But you just have to try these and try and write down something or some kind of an equation. It's the best way to get better at them. So if you want to pause the video and just try them, and then play it on, and I'll run through the answers. So the first one, I think of a number. So hopefully you'll have said that a number was x. So the a number thing is x. When I multiply it by 4, so when you're multiplying the x by 4, so we know that we're going to have a 4x here because we write the 4 beside it, and then add 1. Okay, so and then add 1. The answer is 13. So there has to be an equals 13 because the answer is 13. So 4x plus 1 equals 13. That would be the equation for this one. And then once we've got that, then it's easy enough to solve it. I just need to subtract 1. So we get 4x equals 12. And then I'm going to divide by 4. So x equals 3. So that's the first one. Second one, Gregory is x years old. Daisy is 2 years older than Gregory. So Daisy is 2 years older. So Gregory, or just say Greg, is X anyway. Daisy then is 2 years, so 2 years older would be 2 years more than X, or X, so really it's going to be X plus 2. So you need to see that Daisy, if Greg is X, then Daisy is X plus 2. The sum of their ages then is 40, so we're doing X plus X plus 2 would equal 40, because that's Greg's age, that's Daisy's age. So X plus X plus 2. And then that's our equation, so that's the first part done, that's the equation formed. To solve it then, what we can do is we can put these two x's together because they're like terms. Remember, x is the same thing as 1x, so 1x plus 1x really is 2x. The plus 2 is still there, equals 4. Then we're trying to just get the x on the left hand side, so I can subtract 2. So 2x equals 2, and then if I divide by 2, x equals 1. So x equals 1 here. Actually, I didn't write down I forgot to put in the 0 beside 40 up here. Scratched actually. So our equation should have been 1x plus 1x plus 2 equals 40. So if I add the two x's together, x plus 2 equals 40. And then, so it's the same steps, it's just we're subtracting 40 instead. So 2x equals 38. And then divide by 2. So x equals 19. So x is 19 then, so, and we know that x is Greg's age, so Greg then is 19, just put that in there. And then if Greg is 19, then Daisy is 2 more than 19, so Daisy will be 21.